Okay, we're gonna continue with the this portrait. Just a reminder that the color that we are choosing here is mostly the color that you feel you want to use, not the color that you see here. We finished with the first layers, and for the second layer is that I want to add a little more natural colors, but not completely like a realistic ones. I'm using of a pink, a little pink here. I'm using of the red, and making my red with the ultramarine blue, just a small amount of these. It was too much, but yeah, I want to make it a little purple. It's not purplish red, but the red that it's not a straight line. I'm using up both alizarin red and the cadmium red medium, and again a little of the that fonts to this. For the warmer colors, I can use it the same times. I'm gonna use of the green that I used last time. I'm adding blue to this green to make it some deeper kind of the green that I want to use. It's a viridian green and ultramarine blue that we have, and as we are working on the face, again a little more orangish red that we can have, and the same time I'm gonna use of the cerulean. My brush had a little brown on this, but I like the colors. The result is the result that I want to see. I want a small amount of the green on this, and using of the again the pink. You see, I'm making the colors ready, then when I want to use them, then it's gonna be red, orangish, and orange and pink, that you know we're gonna have a peach color. And this peach color, I'm gonna add in a part of this a little white. The medium that I'm using is golden acrylic blendings, and the size of the brush, it can be vary from any size that you want. We have more light here in this size of the face, and more darkness here. So I want to cover with the second layers, and I'm gonna start with the little of these peachy colors here. It can be somehow not very completely cover this part, and I can see the first green and the yellow that I have from the first layer. Continue with these ones with the light that we have here. And this is the technique that I don't want to, you know, blend a lot of the colors to each other, but at the same time some part of this needs more blending than the other part of this. I'm coming with you know, just very thin layer. You can see that still with the thin light layer I can see what's happening in the first layer that I had. And for this part, this blue, I really like it. I don't want to cover it, but I'm coming with the just small amount, and you see I'm using of the peach colors and bring it here, and this color, these bluish green colors can come and be a part of the shadow that I want to do it. Be sure that your brush is clean when you change the colors or using of the different brushes. And in that part, again, I want to use this color. I'm not adding very thick layer that completely cover the first layer. One option is using of the some kind of the, you know, like brush stroke like that. And here is just getting thinner layers. For the bottom part of the cheek, I'm using of the red ones. And this part again, we have the dark. I want to use of the dark, instead of just being just green, a little of the red and green. And change the brush. So I'm working on the eyes after I finish with the face. This part of the face, I want to have again a little of the lighter value that we have. So I'm using of the this and more yellow to it, and it's getting different from here. I keep this line here. If you see this line here, I want to keep it. This is make it a little just light, and I want to have more light. Then I'm adding the, just in part of this, not everywhere, but just part of this, more paint. And just with one, the brush stroke that you see in the painting, it, you might see that it's very fast, but just remember it can be coming with the slow brush stroke here. Not it doesn't have to have the energy that you see on the painting. It's gonna show it's look like a just one brush stroke, but you can use of the more one brush stroke for that. Again, this is the part that I want to have some brush stroke for the shadow of the nose, and the shadow can continue here. Okay, for that part, let's come with the again the pink that I've made before the class. If you have a ready pink, you can use of these too. I don't want to cover all the this first color that we have. Then I'm coming and just use of a thin layers that I see here. I want to keep this as a shadow that we have for now, and just in this area I want to have a light colors. I have enough of the pink on my brush, and using of the yellow and white and just bringing this. So in this part is that we are mostly gonna cover it with the hair, then I think it's good for now. And this part is that I don't want to change the colors from the green a lot. I want to still to have the green. I'm using of the green. This green is very, it's still bright green for me. Then I'm using of a little of red to that to make it just the color that I want, you know, then and adding the more blue to it. I have this color. I'm gonna add in this part that didn't have the blue on this, just white to make it lighter. And I'm making another blue. I didn't change my brush because all of them is almost in the same category. But again, I'm using of the blue, I'm using of the green, I'm using this part a little of the cadmium, uh, red, and more green. In the end, I'm adding just a small brown on this. It's not enough to have these three different kind of the green. As I'm working, I'm gonna change the colors. This is the part that I want to just focus on this right now. This is the part that we had the green. Still I'm coming with the just a little more. Can you see this part? This is the part that you always have to remember. Make somehow these parts getting fade out or blend it with the another brush stroke, but don't let it be just alone over there. I'm backing to the combination of the blue and green here, and see, mostly I'm gonna leave this part with the color that we have here. I don't want to again blend this one because the technique that we are using is not that we want to blend the brush stroke too much to each other. We have to see some of them, then I'm keeping it like separate part. And after that, now I have to change my brushes and coming with the color for this area. I have this color for that, but I don't want to use of this the same here. I want to change color, and that's why that I'm using of the blue green that we have. Again, a little more blue and white on this. Then it's gonna be some kind of the very light color but cool color. Then this is the color that I'm like to have it. You see, I'm gonna keep some of the underline painting that we have. For changing the value, adding a little more white, and I want this white to be brighter white, then I'm straightly using of the white here, a little white here. And for the part that we had this yellow, for making a contrast, I want a cooler color for the bottom part of this as the shadow that we are using, and a little of these ones. So it's too much for me, it's too much. Then I'm gonna back with the green and adding some kind of the shapes with your brush here to make it, you know, the direction correct, and do it here. I'm back to, as I've added a little of this here, I want to add a little, not too much, but a little of these pinkish colors here. Now, it's based on the light and dark that we are working, and some part of here I'm coming with the, again, green, but the bluish green that we have, to just, again, I don't want to cover everything. I want to have it, but very lightly cover it, and you can see the first layer too. Back with the pinkish, peachish colors, and now I want lighter. In this part, we started with this bluish green that we have, and I want to continue with the same color and keep this orange, but showing another shadow here that's coming and making the shape of the nose. Same times in this side. This is your eyes that connect this part to that part to this part. All of these colors that we have here, it's lets you to go through the face and getting from one point to the other point. I'm not very happy with this part, and you know that it's not, it's in progress, and but I want to change it right now to a somehow a little lighter color. Then no, it's not lighter. Then I'm making peach colors again, and so for now I think I'm good until the next step that we are adding to it. This nose for here, it still needs the shadows to add more shadows with the different color, and because it's in the shadow colors I want to have again this bluish green on that, but with the brushes too, just not everywhere. Okay, so now I'm back to the eyes. The eyes is the part that draw your attention mostly, and for the dark and light that we want to use, I'm gonna use of the same. For the darker part, the shadows. Darker shadow here. Sorry, just, and darker shadow that we have here, and a little blending to this blue. Then it's a continue of the shadow that we have here, and I'm gonna add it here and let it fade out here. It's gonna be the shadow that we have from the hair. I'm adding the light between two lines that we have for the eyes. And okay, the very small brush for the blackish, I'm using of the ultramarine and dark brown. The dark brown can be burnt umber or raw umber. And okay, in this top part, with the these I want to have the, for these eyes I want to have this light, and for that eye I want to have this light. Then I'm gonna change the, but not completely covering everything. So you see that I'm keeping some of the first layer. And then I'm gonna move to the eyes. The eyes, I want to have more white in the eyes, and so I'm gonna use up the straight white here. And after that, I'm using of the same greenish themes that I have for the eyes. We had the, just a little of the shadow, and reflection here. I want to add this, and using of this green to the eyes, and just with the, okay, and also a little of the more greenish type. I make my green that I want. I want to have, yeah, mostly like this green, but, and coming with a little of that one too. The eyes, I like to have the black for the pupil, and adding the black here and black here. I'm gonna let it get dry, but then I'm gonna back to it. I'm gonna back to it later. For the lips is that the darker part, it can be flat as you want, but I want to have a darker red here, and adding the pinkish color, but I wanted to have a brush stroke of the pink, but still it's getting too blended. Then I'm coming back again. Okay, and for the neck, again, I'm gonna come back with the neck with the same that we have for the face. This part and this part are the darker part, and I'm again using of the same, but I'm not covering everything that we have here. I want to have some combination of the color of the first layer, and then adding the more colors. The green that I have here, I'm happy with this. This part is that I back to this darker red a little here, instead of adding white, I'm adding red. I hope that, yeah. And this pink is too light for here, then I'm just make it very thin layer, then I can see the first layer, and keep this brush stroke here, and adding just one peachy, more yellowish peachy and lighter peachy on this part. And again, I'm taking care of the all part of the brush stroke that we have here, and a little of that here, and here. This separation that you see here, and we have this separation, the only things that I don't want to blend it, I just want to, change the shapes and showing a little of the under colors with these colors, and instead of the blending it, I'm doing that. So I think it's good for the this part. I'm gonna back with the final part that we have to do.